sell grandma's home. Most gurus will tell you not to sell grandma's home because it may create generational wealth for your family, which is true. But what they fail to tell you is the but. What comes after the but is if you do not have financial literacy, a plan for the home, and the proper funding to pay the taxes, it is likely you will lose the property at a tax sale auction. Hi, I'm attorney Charmaine Robinson, an active real estate investor. Here's the thing about not selling grandma's house. Most of our grandparents, when they passed, they had a senior exemption on the property. What that means is that they had to pay zero taxes. Now that they are deceased, you will have to start paying that property taxes. However, most of our grandparents have multiple children. So this home is not just yours. You may share this home with one other sibling or 10 siblings. As we know, most of the times, the expenses fall over to one person that's left to pay for everything. Despite multiple people having ownership, if you have no plan for the house, how exactly do you divide this house by 10 people without selling it? It would be great to keep it if you had a plan, but now you have to think about the cost of the property tax insurance yearly, which does increase, by the way, the cost of maintaining the property, as well as the cost of day-to-day bills for this property as well. Those are things that you want to have in the back of your mind when thinking about paying for the property or keeping the property. Why do you want to have a plan for this property? Why do you want to know about financial literacy and have the proper funding? Because if you fail to pay for the taxes, the house is going to a tax sale auction. Once this property sells at a tax sale auction, you are now losing the equity in grandma's home. If you do not have a plan, if you do not have the money to pay the taxes, it is better to sell grandma's home so that way you and your siblings can split the equity. Grandma may have anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 plus in equity, depending on what type of property your grandmother or grandfather had. They could have $500,000, $600,000 in equity. You do not want to lose the equity in the home because you are being emotional about this being grandma's house. Now, again, if you have a plan, you have financial literacy, so you know how to deal with the tax bills, things of that nature, and you have the funds to keep grandma's house, please keep grandma's house. It can help you build wealth. If you do not, an investor like myself, full disclosure, I invest in tax sales. We will purchase the house from the tax sale auction when you fail to pay it. Guess who's going to get the equity? Myself and the students that I teach how to invest in tax sales. I'm telling you, you don't want us to get the equity. You want to be able to enjoy the equity the way you see fit. Only keep grandma's house if you have a plan. If not, I don't care what you do with the money. Many people would say, oh, you sold grandma's house and you went shopping. Maybe you did, which is not the smartest thing to do, but at least you got something out of it instead of me as an investor getting grandma's equity. Now, I love tax sales. So if you aren't going to sell grandma's house, let me know. I'll keep an eye on the property. But just be real. If you don't have a plan, if you do not have funds for this property, you're at risk to losing grandma's house at an auction. It's better to sell before losing the property and getting nothing out of it.